Clemson needs to lose again. I know. What a way to start off a video. We can learn some lessons from some past seasons. If you watch my channel, you know I'm really big on history. I find that people who normally spit in the face of history, well, things don't turn out too well for them. 2003 taught us a lot. 2011 taught us a lot as well. And I believe that we're at even a more detrimental crossroad than those two seasons. And I'm going to get to that in just a second. First, welcome to the channel. Glad you're hanging out with me here on my this is my baby. I don't know why I was going to say there. I just love talking Clemson football, and it's been a pleasure to connect with a lot of you. If you love Clemson football, I hope you'll subscribe. It is free. Pass along in your forums, online, on X, Facebook, etc. I really do appreciate it. Remember, all of that is free. Hit the thumbs up. It is free as well. Sometimes the worst thing that can happen to a team isn't a loss. It's a win that will convince them that they're okay. As you can tell, I probably looked up that quote. Let me give you a couple of more quotes that I looked up, and it should kind of shake us. It can kind of bring us to our senses. If a loss can wake you up and a win can put you back to sleep, which one really helps you more in the long run? You can't rebuild a dynasty on denial. Sometimes you got to hit a wall before you break through it. You can't evolve if you keep surviving instead of improving. There's a lot of really good ones out there, folks. But Clemson is at a very, very, I think, a very pivotal point for the foreseeable future, and it's in this season right now. They're coming off of a win against Florida State, and there's a lot of people out there. They're contacting me, going, "Hey," and a lot of some of them's been very respectful, and I appreciate that. Some not so much. But there are people reaching out to me saying, "You know what? You need to be more optimistic after this Florida State win." So I want to start off, before I make my point about 2003 and 2011. I want to say a very special message to people out there who politely disagree with me, or maybe they're indifferent. Maybe this is the first time you've ever seen me on here. Maybe you just stopped by here to drop a quick insult, a thumbs down, and then skewer me on a forum. I'm used to that. At least I'm giving you content. Every Clemson fan is different. We all have different expectations, different levels of loyalty, and a different way that we all define success, okay? So we're all different. Some fans just love to win, and that is perfectly fine. They celebrate the moment. They enjoy the highs. Even deep down, those wins, they might even acknowledge that it could delay fixing the bigger problem. They just want to win right now. It's been a tough season. It's not that they want to ignore the issues. They're just trying to live in now. So I'm not going to fault anyone here. If you're an optimist who just wants to enjoy a win, to each their own. But I do challenge you to stop and think. I want you to think about two of the most pivotal, did you see that? Pivotal moments in Clemson football history, 2003 and 2011. Now, I'm going to dive into both of these seasons. And folks, I've did a little bit of homework. And by the end, you may not agree with me. Good grief, you might not even like my channel. I may have a punchable face to you. But if you have an open mind, I promise the points I'm going to make will be difficult to ignore. I'm not going to say that you won't rebut them. We see in politics all the time that you can make a really good point, have data even backing you up. And if someone is married to an opinion, they are practically welded to it. But right now, Clemson is standing at a moment like 2003 and 2011, and which path we take next, it's going to determine if we get back to championship football or if we're going to settle for being average again. And I'm starting to see a lot of settling for average. I'm seeing it in my comments section. I'm seeing it in other comment sections. I'm seeing it in forums. The championship mindset is not only lacking on the Clemson football team, it is now lacking in the fan base. at wholesale. So I'm going to stop blabbering and giving people the benefit of the doubt, which I wholeheartedly means. And I'm going to dive into what made me make this video today. So here's my take. I know it sounds a little backwards, but I actually think that Florida State losing to Clemson could hurt the program in the long run. If Clemson wins this game, and they did, and let's say they win 2 more games, they beat Furman and they take Louisville or South Carolina, I think it's going to make this season look better on paper than what it really is. Now, compared to the expectations of 2.5 months ago, of course not. But I don't think the pressure to make the bulk, I'm talking about massive overhaul, I think the pressure won't be there anymore. Sure, you could see one change, but I don't think you're going to see a lot. There's the good version and there's the bad version. Let's start with the good version first. In 2011, Clemson had their first 10-win season since, I believe, 1990. Dabo Swinney gave Clemson their first 10-win season since 1990. And not only that, they went to the ACC championship and won their first ACC championship, what, in 20 years? 20 plus years? That's a success to me. I don't know about you. Then they made it to the Orange Bowl for the first time since they went to the national championship and beat Nebraska in 1981. Everything is going good. Everything is just, I mean, literally, everybody's happy. Let's talk about that 2011 season just a little more. They beat Auburn 38-24. They beat Florida State 35-30. They beat Virginia Tech at Virginia Tech 23-3. Now, they did lose to Georgia Tech. They lost to NC State. They lost to South Carolina. That was when South Carolina was really good with Steve Spurrier. But they beat Virginia Tech 38-10 in the ACC championship. We're feeling good here. West Virginia beats them 70-33. Humiliating. Now, I want to pause and tell you that Clemson had, again, I'm recapping, Clemson had success in 2011 that they had not had in 20 plus years. You could hang your hat on that. 10 wins, ACC championship, Orange Bowl appearance. You lose 70-33. What does Dabo do? He fires Kevin Steele. He makes the most incredible hire probably ever in Clemson history of any coach. He hires Brent Venables. And we know what that did. So we have a situation where there was actual success. Then you get embarrassed. And then Dabo, instead of going, well, you know what? This was the coaching staff that gave me the first 10-win season in 20 plus years and an ACC championship. No, Dabo turned and he said, look, this is not cutting it. He goes and he fires Kevin Steele, a man who's been around college football for many, many years. Hires Brent Venables. We know what happened. So there's example one. Let's go to the bad example. 2003. 2003 is an extremely interesting year because Clemson entered that season. I think it was Tommy Bowden's 5th season. He was starting, I believe this was his 5th season. Clemson was ranked something like number 15. And they host Georgia at Clemson. There was a lot of hype around this game. People felt like Clemson could beat Georgia, especially at home. Georgia beats them 30-0. Terrible. Clemson goes on a 3-game win streak. Everybody's starting to feel good about themselves. They lose to Maryland. They beat Virginia. Then they lose to North Carolina State. They beat North Carolina. And then here's the kicker. Clemson in 2003 lost to a Wake Forest team who would end up, I believe, 5-7 on the season, 45-17. Everyone thought Tommy Bowden is done. They're going to fire Tommy Bowden. You lose to Georgia 30-0. You have those 2 other losses. Those were closer losses. One was a 14-point loss. One was a 2-point loss. But 45-17 to that Wake Forest team that I believe will finish 5-7 or something like that, 5-6, somewhere in there. They were not very good. And then something happened. A miracle happened. Something that had never happened since this team joined the conference. And I was there sitting in what's now the West End Zone. Clemson beat Florida State, number 3 in the country that night. Beat them handily, 26-10. I'll never forget it as long as I live. The very next week, they slap Duke around, and then they go play at South Carolina, win 63-17. I mean, it's hilarious. You can go back and watch the highlights. That pass from Charlie Whitehurst to Derek Hamilton. Oh, man, you could just see it. And then to cap off the season, Clemson plays number 6 Tennessee in the Peach Bowl and beats them. And everyone is like, wow, what a turnaround. Man, we have hope. Oh, everything is going to be good, y'all. I'm telling you, I really see a bright side to this thing. The next season, Clemson goes 6-5. The next season, Clemson goes 8-4. Clemson goes 8-5. Clemson goes 9-4 again, losing the Chick-fil-A Bowl in 2007. And in 2008, they enter the season as a lot of people thought a legitimate contender for the national championship. I remember it. Clemson went 3-3 right off the bat. They started off by playing Alabama. Now, that's when Alabama became Alabama, my friends. But they got slapped by Alabama, and nothing was making sense. We know what happened. Terry Don Phillips fires Tommy Bowden or gives him an ultimatum, and there was an agreement, however you want to put it, and Dabo was hired as the interim. We know that. I was back in 2008. So let's recap. Did 2003 actually help anything? No. 2011, you had a lot of success, a lot of first time since 20 plus years of evading 10 wins, evading a conference championship, going to a big bowl like the Orange Bowl, all of that good stuff. You get embarrassed in the bowl game, you fire the defensive coordinator, you hire the right man, and the rest is history. But you turn around and you look at the complete opposite. You see Clemson struggling in 2003. You think the coach is going to get fired. They go on this magnificent run, and it ended up not being a good thing. My point here is, I think where Clemson's at now, I think one of the very worst things that could happen to Clemson right now is for them to win 2 more ball games. Because I am highly concerned at looking at history and looking at the different approaches that were there. I think it's showing us, y'all. If we get a few more ball games, I don't think the changes that we know need to be made will be made. I don't think so. And so today, you can walk away from me and go, you know what? I still don't get it for you. I don't get it. I don't get what the point you're trying to make. Here's the point I'm trying to make. Clemson wins a few more games. They're not going to make The changes that needs to be made will not be changed, will not be made. It won't. Because we're going to be able to draw some hope from how the team pulled together and how they fought till the end. And that's not the true story. The true story is something much different. And you and I both know that. So I could continue to read off quotes about winning versus losing and how sometimes winning is the worst thing for you if winning in a current state actually would be to your detriment. I could bore you with that. I could keep this video going. But I am telling you, if Clemson wins, you mark my word, if Clemson wins 1 or 2 more ball games, especially 2 more ball games, if they win, they will be bowl eligible. They will go to a bowl game, and who knows if they win, who knows if they lose. If they win that would be 7 wins. They'd be 7-6. I don't think that in 3, 4, 5 years, this is going to end up where some of you think it's going to end up. I think in 4 or 5 years, you're going to be looking back going, how did 8 wins become the goal again? How did Clemson fans go back to, hey, you know what? We may win 10 games this year. This is how, y'all. This is it. This is it. Go look at my comment section. There's a lot of you, and I'm not picking at the ones who, hey, look, you want to be optimistic. I'm not picking at you. I'm not trying to degrade you. I'm not trying to be rude. Thank you for being civil. Some of you were not civil. That's fine. It's sports. It brings out the worst in people. With that said, I don't think you're going to like where Clemson's going to be in 4 or 5 years. I don't think you will. I think that, yeah. And I think it's going to just continue to happen, and years are going to pass by, and it's going to be 2003 all over again. So, anyway, folks, I rest my case. I think Clemson needs to lose out the rest of this season. They'll beat Furman. I think they need to lose out. Now, I will tell you this. They're playing Louisville this Friday night. Louisville just came off of an upset. Jeff Brom can coach. They've only lost 2 games this season. You're playing them at their house after an upset on a Friday night. We don't do too well on off nights. You remember on an off night, we went up to Duke and played Mike Elko, and Duke on a Monday night, Memorial Night, got absolutely emasculated. Back when Kelly was playing for us in between Trevor and Deshaun, we went up on a Friday night to play Syracuse. He got knocked out cold. We lost. Clemson, they don't do very well on off nights. This has the makings of a loss. I'll give you my preview in the next few days. Clemson will beat Furman. And Clemson and South Carolina getting together, I hate to say it, and I'm no Gamecock whatsoever. The Gamecocks, for the most part, are losing to some very good football teams. So while they have their problems with their offensive line and while they have issues here and there, South Carolina is not nearly the team they were last year. They can still beat Clemson. And I won't guarantee it. I think that if we lose out, it could force the hand. I'm not guaranteeing it. But it would be extremely difficult to extract any positivity from a losing record. There would have to be some real moments of discovery for anyone on the football team, everyone on the football team. So anyway, I'm going to leave that there. I'm going to get a comment section real quick. Joshua Leinert. Let me see. Joshua Leinert said, subscribe and follow. This man, he speaks the truth. Get in here. Go Tigers. What's up, Brian? Haven't seen a play from Saturday. Was in the hospital all day. Man, I'm sorry about that. I hate that. I hope you feel better. Said, honestly, hate they won. Nothing going to change. Michael Forster says if Dabo is serious, he takes about 10 guys from the portal. I think it may take a bad season like this to put us on track to another championship. It could. Winning instead of losing is like pooping after a bad barbecue. Jalapeno. Thanks for supporting the channel, Big John. It's glorious. Let me see. The only reason Clemson won this game is Florida State gave them the game. I believe Clemson will lose Friday night. I hate to say it, but Clemson does not have the heart of a team that wants to be on top. Don't care how many people you take from the portal. If you don't coach them, they will be not good too. Better play calling, more heart. I agree. Mr. Popples, we will not be elite in the near future, whether Dabo stays or goes. I hope he stays, and I hope we win out because losing is not going to change anything because the damage is done. I just disagree. Okay. Hey, at least you disagree civilly. I'll take that. Clemson doesn't need to lose again. The fans need to grow spines and realize any other SEC team wouldn't put up with this level of mediocrity. If Clemson loses again, they will get the #1 draft pick. That's so funny. That's so funny. Oh, man. So many good ones. This is fantastic. Folks, tell me what you think in the comments section. If Clemson wins out, do you think anything will change? If Clemson loses out, will anything worthwhile change? Do you think that Clemson is A-okay and that this is an outlier and that last year losing 4 games and the year before that losing 4 games, those are outliers as well and you're not seeing a trend? This is just people expecting too much. What do you see? What do you see? Do you believe that the donors are going to start to demand changes? I'm talking about on the staff as a whole. I'm not talking about with Dabo. You remember they control the purse strings. So let me know in the comment section what you think. Pass this along. Hit the thumbs up. Good grief, hit the thumbs down. I could care less. Actually, thumbs down helps. I will tell you that. So if some of you are like, thumbs down. Good. And then if you leave a comment, by the way, if you leave a comment that's like ripping me, that's one more comment on my video, and I'm pretty sure that actually helps. So appreciate that as well. For everyone else, I am glad that you're here. I'm even glad the haters are here. I don't like to say haters. I think that uses too much. People just don't like my view. I am. Hey, it's sports. We're supposed to have fun. Y'all take care of yourselves and all.